Hello, this is Ian's POV. Ever so sad week. Anne Widdecombe, the formidable Conservative and now Reform politician, has been brutally murdered in her own home. She's only 5'1". Absolutely incredible lady. I've never seen news reporters so shocked in reading the news and talking about the death of Anne Widdecombe. In some cases, trying to hold back tears. These are people who have worked with her. Personally, they've interviewed her. Mike Graham gave a brilliant tribute to her this morning. Even Dan Whitten, on his show, brilliant, talking about Anne Widdecombe. Now, I saw Anne Widdecombe in Cardiff in a Brexit rally. It was coming up to the Brexit vote, and I was helping my local Brexit party campaign to leave the EU. So we went over to Cardiff and we watched Anne Widdecombe come on stage. And she talked for about 20 minutes with no notes, just the microphone in your hand. You look at politicians today, look at the politicians in Parliament. They all read from a script. They ask a question from the script. The Prime Minister looks at his folder and reads the script. Anne Widdecombe takes a microphone and speaks without script. And she works an argument. You listen to a politician today, Blair was a master at it. Not saying anything, but talking in sound bites. So that if what he said was edited, it would still try and make sense. If you read how a transcript of one of Blair's speeches, it was written in 3 or 4 sentences at a time. So the news could take out what block they wanted in sound bites. I don't think Blair was a very good speaker at all. I don't think Starmer is a very good speaker. Burnham is a terrible speaker. He speaks and there's hams and ums. Now, I got to admit, I used to do it. And I had to teach myself not to do it. I used to do a video, and there was lots of ahs and ums as I went through. And I had to edit them out. I'm lazy. I don't want to spend an hour editing a video just to take the ums and the and out. So I taught myself not to do it. I might stop, I might think, but I won't say and. But you watch Burnham. He is a terrible speaker. And now he wants to run the country. But Anne Widdecombe worked an argument. She made her point. She said what was wrong and she said what the outcome should be. And you just have to agree with her. Because she's right. The way she spoke was unbelievable. Brilliant orator. I only saw her for 20 minutes. And I thought, that is brilliant. Now, Nigel Farage can do it. He can speak without notes. Very few politicians today speak without notes. Because somebody's telling them what to say, you see. They're not working it out for themselves. Anne Widdecombe left the Conservative Party, joined UKIP, became a UKIP MEP in the European elections back in the day. And it's on YouTube, go and find some of her speeches from the EU. Now, what other politician, I will put Nigel Farage in with this, mind. What other politician has actually campaigned to lose their job? And Widdecombe did with Nigel Farage. And she was brilliant. And I thought, at the time, I thought, that's really good. A politician absolutely campaigning to lose their job. And this is what Nigel was doing. And Anne Widdecombe was behind him. So it was UKIP. Then it was the Brexit Party. Anne Widdecombe came along too. And now it's Reform. And Anne Widdecombe is a Reform spokesman. So she's been along with Nigel for the ride. But her wisdom and her character is infectious. You've just got to like the lady. And then she turns up on Strictly Come Dancing. She's not very good, but she did it. And she did it to the best of her ability. She was game. And you've got to admire her for that. A pop song group actually did a song called Anne Widdecombe, Anne Widdecombe. It was brilliant. How many other politicians have had songs written about them? Hello? As we go into the next election, Anne Widdecombe is going to be missed. She was a formidable character. Anne Widdecombe was somebody who called a spade a spade. And she held her views. She didn't swap and change and go on one bandwagon and then another bandwagon. She didn't blow with the wind. She stuck to her principles. Now, I'm not going to say that I agree with her 100%. There's a couple of things that Anne said that I disagree with. But that's one of those things. It's like I said before on these videos. If you agree with somebody 95%, you join them. And then you agree to disagree with the bits you don't. Anne Widdecombe would understand that. I would have liked to have seen Anne Widdecombe as an MP again for the Reform Party. Or if Nigel Farage got into number 10. If Anne Widdecombe didn't win a seat, perhaps she could go into the House of Lords as a Reform member and maybe the leader of Reform in the House of Lords. I would have liked to have seen that as well. But it's not going to happen now. You know, we've got Anne Widdecombe on film. We've got her being interviewed. And we've got to rely on the history now. But her words will stay. Her wisdom will stay. They will play her videos and her speeches for years to come. Why would anybody want to kill a 5'1" granny? I know she might not be a granny, but you know what I mean. She wasn't offensive. She may not agree with everybody. She may not have liked things, but she stuck to her guns and she had her principles. And as a democracy, we have to stand up for that. We have to support that. But some of the things that the left have been saying been absolutely disgusting. One said, oh, it's good news now. How sick can you get? This shows the mentality of the woke world, that they're pleased that a politician that doesn't agree with them is now been murdered. It shows their mentality. You know, how can these people be allowed to then control the government? Starmer came out, said all the right words. He looked like an AI speech. There was no hint of remorse, regret. He just read it was like he was just reading the words. He wasn't sincere at all. I think it was an insult to Anne. A lot of our Conservative colleagues have come out and paid tribute. And I'd like this video to be a tribute to Anne Widdecombe. I liked Anne Widdecombe. I'd have liked to have met Anne Widdecombe. I never did. I've seen her speak, like I said, in Cardiff. She was brilliant. I've watched her do interviews on the television, and she's always hitting the nail on the head. She doesn't mince her words. She says what she thinks, and she's right. She was always right. Anyway, this is Ian. Ian's POV. And my little tribute to Anne Widdecombe. And I hope the guy that they got in Yorkshire is the guy that's done it. And if he come all the way down from Yorkshire to do it, it's premeditated. Which means he knew he was going to do it. Perhaps we could consider bringing back hanging. But that's another argument for another day. Anyway, this is Ian, POV. Bye for now.